The old house on Hemlock Lane. Everyone in town knew the stories. They said it was a place of sorrow, a house that held onto its secrets with a cold, dead grip. But I wasn't like everyone else. I saw it as a challenge, a mystery begging to be solved. One overcast afternoon, I decided it was time. I pushed open the creaking front door, a cloud of dust dancing in the sliver of light that pierced the gloom. The air inside was heavy, thick with the smell of decay and something else. Something strangely sweet, like old perfume. The silence was the first thing that got to me. It wasn't just quiet, it was a profound, listening silence. Every footstep I took on the warped floorboards echoed like a gunshot in a cathedral. The living room was a time capsule of neglect. Furniture draped in white sheets stood like ghostly figures, and a grand piano sat in the corner, its keys yellowed and covered in a fine layer of dust. Drawn to it, I gently pressed a single key. The note that came out was surprisingly clear, but it hung in the air for too long, a dissonant, mournful sound that sent a shiver down my spine. Upstairs, the feeling of being watched intensified. The hallway was lined with closed doors, each one promising a new discovery. I chose the one at the very end. It opened into what must have been a child's bedroom. A faded rocking horse stood frozen mid-rock, and a small, leather-bound diary lay open on a dusty desk. My curiosity got the better of me. I picked it up. The handwriting was elegant, a child's careful script. The entry spoke of a happy life, of games played in the garden, of a loving family. But as I flipped through the pages, the tone shifted. The last few entries were frantic, scribbled. They mentioned a man in a tall hat who would visit at night, a man no one else could see. The final entry was just a single, terrifying sentence: "He's in the walls. He won't let us leave." A sudden, icy draft slammed the bedroom door shut, plunging me into near darkness. My heart hammered against my ribs. I fumbled for the doorknob, but it wouldn't turn. It was locked, trapped. Panic set in. I pounded on the door, my voice raw as I yelled for help, knowing no one would hear. Then, the whispers started. Faint at first, like the rustling of leaves, they grew louder, clearer, coming from all around me. Voices of children, a woman humming a lullaby, a man's deep, guttural laugh. They were in the room with me. I could feel their cold presence brush against my skin. Shadows danced in the corners of my eyes, coalescing into fleeting shapes: a little girl in a white dress, a woman with sorrowful eyes. They weren't just ghosts, they were the family from the diary. And they weren't alone. From the corner of the room, a darker shadow began to form, taller than the rest, a vague outline of a figure wearing a tall hat. The air grew impossibly cold, and the whispers turned to pleading cries. "He won't let us leave." I realized with dawning horror they weren't talking to me. They were warning me. The secret of the house wasn't just that it was haunted. The secret was that it was a prison, and I had just become its newest inmate. The door remains locked. The whispers never stop. I don't know how long I've been here, but I know one thing for sure: the man in the tall hat is always watching, and this house never lets you go. Thanks for watching, and be careful what doors you decide to open. Follow for more chilling stories.